this is Bill Griffin. Welcome to Different Take Podcast. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, share, comment. Really appreciate you watching. New episodes Tuesdays and Thursdays. I would like to share something with you that I recently learned, and there's a reason I'm doing this, and I'll explain at the end, regarding our President Joe Biden, who has to do with an accusation he leveled many years ago against the driver of a flatbed tractor trailer who struck the car that his wife, Nelia, daughter Naomi, died in this accident, and his sons Hunter and Bo suffered critical injuries, which they recovered from and survived, of course. And Joe Biden has blamed the driver of this truck, saying that he was drunk. So this is from a CBS News program that aired March 24th, 2009, and they'll go into this.
Just a week before Christmas 1972, the wife of newly elected Senator Joe Biden and their baby daughter were killed, and their two sons badly injured when the Biden family car was broadsided by a truck at this intersection in Delaware. The truck driver, Curtis Dunn, was never charged in the crash, but his daughter, Pam Hamill, says he too suffered.
He grieved over that. He was haunted and tormented by that for years.
Dunn died in 1999, but since then his family has endured widespread rumors and reports that he had been drinking just before the collision. At least twice, Biden himself has made public references to alcohol being involved in the crash. In 2007, Biden said the truck driver, quote, allegedly drank his lunch. And multiple news outlets, including CBS News, have reported that Dunn was drunk. Hamill disputes that, saying her dad had not been drinking.
The truth is, it was a tragic accident. No alcohol was involved.
The police reports have been lost, but Delaware Judge Jerome Herlihy, who investigated the crash, supports Hamill. He tells CBS News there was no indication that the truck driver had been drinking. Last fall, a spokesman for Biden said Biden fully accepts the Dunn family's word that these rumors were false. Now, Pam Hamill simply wants the record to be cleared.
He was a good, hardworking man and a wonderful father.
And her father's reputation restored. Bob Orr, CBS News, Newark, Delaware.
So in this news report, there's no apology for CBS reporting that the driver was drunk. They don't recant this in this report. They paint the picture that this investigation was insufficient by they omit who was at fault. They don't claim that anyone was at fault. The only explanation is that the driver, or there is the possibility that this driver was at fault and could have very well been inebriated. The records are lost. I don't know why that don't exist anymore, I should say. The investigative records of the accident. This is a United States Senator. We presume that there was an investigation made into this. You're in a criminal, such a serious accusation that's criminal in nature. In our country, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But CBS News does not provide any benefit of the doubt here to the accused. They also omit some other things, which I think you'll see are pretty obvious. This is from a speech, just to show you what words Joe Biden used. This is September 19th, 2001. It's shortly after 9/11, 8 days. This is from UnitedStatesSenate.org, a transcript of Joe Biden's speech on that day. To the loved ones of the victims, there's nothing really we can say to erase this tragedy. And those of you who think it's presumptuous of me to say that in a different circumstance, I got one of those phone calls. I got one of those phone calls like David Davis Cessna got. I got a phone call saying, your wife's dead, your daughter's dead. And I've only said that 3 times in public before, but I say it here because it's so important for you to understand. I got one of those phone calls. It was an errant driver who stopped to drink instead of drive and hit a tractor trailer. hit my children and my wife and killed them. It wasn't an airplane, but it was a phone call. They're dead. And I can tell you from experience, and some of you can too, that feeling that inside your chest is a black hole and you're being sucked inside it. I know from experience there's nothing in the near term we can do to bring solace, relief, or peace to those people. And the Sun publication in the UK, you can find this online, a tractor trailer, this is Joe Biden, pardon me. Quote, a tractor trailer, a guy who allegedly, and I never pursued it, drank his lunch instead of eating his lunch, broadsided my family and killed my wife instantly and killed my daughter instantly and hospitalized my two sons, Biden told a crowd in 2007. The man's name who drove the truck is Curtis Dunn. His daughter is Pamela Hamill. This is from NewarkPostOnline.com, October 30th, 2008. Newark resident Pamela Hamill wants a public apology from vice presidential candidate U.S. Senator Joseph Biden, who she says has repeatedly besmirched her late father, Curtis C. Dunn. Dunn was a tractor-trailer driver involved in the December 1972 accident that took the life of the newly elected United States Senator's first wife, Nelia, and 13-month-old daughter, Naomi. Dunn died in 1999, but his daughter says she's fed up with Biden publicly mischaracterizing him as having been drunk when the accident occurred. So Biden made these comments after Mr. Dunn passed away in 1999. Dead man can't talk, so he couldn't defend himself. I think this is especially cruel of Joe Biden to the family because he knows full well that they're suffering also. And this is from Wikipedia. If you search for Nelia, N-E-I-L-I-A, Biden. This is what you'll find under the section entitled Death. On December 18, 1972, shortly after Joe became United States Senator-elect, Nelia was driving with her three children west along Rural Valley Road in Hoccasin, I don't know if that's pronounced correctly, Hoccasin, Delaware. At the intersection with Delaware Route 7 Limestone Road, she pulled out in front of a tractor-trailer truck traveling north along Route 7. Police determined that Nelia drove into the path of the tractor-trailer, possibly because her head was turned and she did not see the oncoming truck. The truck driver, identified as Curtis C. Dunn, 33, of Avondale, Pennsylvania, escaped without any major injury. Biden wrongly blamed Curtis Dunn for being drunk when he hit his wife's car. Years later, after Mr. Dunn's death, he finally apologized to Dunn's daughter for his false accusations. All four occupants were taken to Wilmington General Hospital. This is sort of typical Joe Biden. He exaggerates. He says many deceitful things. But this is particularly cruel to the family. And according to Wikipedia, Joe Biden finally apologized to Pamela Hamill. But this was not done publicly. This is a private, supposedly a private apology, and may not even have come directly from Joe Biden's own lips. I understand it was from a staffer. There may be some conflict about that. But we give him the benefit of the doubt. He certainly did not make a public apology, which should have been appropriate. The point of me bringing all this up is that we have a president that has a long history of boasting, of saying things that are simply not true. Sometimes, oftentimes, they're just viewed as, well, that's Joe Biden and he's gaffe prone. Well, this isn't a gaffe. That's when you say something you didn't mean to say, you misspeak. Now, whether he was lying when he accused Mr. Dunn, because it would require him actually, if he actually believed that were the truth based on some rumors or something like that, it's maybe he didn't intend to deceive folks, but he certainly didn't. United States Senator, he knew full well that the investigation was probably pretty thorough. And the investigator at the time later became a judge. His last name's Hurley. I understand he and Biden were friends. He's not said anything to dispute Mr. Hurley. The Wikipedia account, which you would assume would not be, would be favorable to Joe Biden if at all possible. Hurley was very definitive in that the driver was not intoxicated. So what is the media doing? We could see in this CBS News story, which was some 13 years ago, they do everything they can to prop Joe Biden up and to make this look as favorable to him as possible. But if you think about it, this is a pretty cruel thing to do for one citizen to do to another citizen. It can even be defamatory. But that person, of course, is dead, and the only people that are hurt are the family. And that may be why he didn't mention it until after his death. These sorts of lies, exaggerations that Joe Biden is very deceitful comments for many, many years. The media has just not rejected these things. It's just not that important. And so what that has allowed the Biden administration to do, the sycophants and the people in charge of a lot of policy and Democrat Party to protect Joe Biden, is this allowed them to pretty much say whatever they want. And some of the claims have been pretty ridiculous. For example, legislation that spends a whole lot of money being called the Inflation Reduction Act. The debacle in Afghanistan, they describe it in a way that nobody believes. Democrats don't believe what Biden has said. It allows people to impose this whatever policies they want to grab power under all kinds of different lies. There's no to camouflage what is true, what their true intent is, and what the results of their policies are going to be. The Hunter Biden laptop story we're finding out was a concerted effort to keep this hidden from the public. The fact that we accept all of these lies, or particularly the mainstream media, and a great deal of portion of the public accept these lies over and over again. This story sort of inoculated the public when it comes to Joe Biden. Well, it's always, look at Donald Trump, or look at, there's this other wrong. So that's what I think is happening, is that the media is covered for Joe Biden for many, many years under this idea that, that's just Joe Biden. He just says those kind of things, and people are used to it, and they can discern what's true and what's not true. I think that's what we're dealing with. So that's my episode today. I really appreciate you watching. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, share, comment. New episodes coming out Tuesdays and Thursdays, and thanks for watching.